My name is Jamie Getz, and here's my presentation on Hays High School. First of all, I want to answer the question, who are we? And I'm going to address that by looking at the students, the staff, and the community of Hays. The first comparison that I looked at was the comparison between Hays High and the state of Kansas on ethnicity. As you can see, Hays High has a larger percentage of white students than the rest of the state of Kansas, and we have a lower percentage of Hispanic, African American, and other students, which shows that this school is primarily with white students and we don't have a lot of variation. We have only 33.59% economically disadvantaged students, which is lower than the state average of 48.3% of economically disadvantaged students. But we do have 3.22% migrant students, whereas the state of Kansas has an average of 1.88% migrant students. So we have more migrant students at Hays High than the state average. However, we do have a very good program for those students, and they seem to like it here quite a bit. We also have a lower percentage of students with disabilities than the state average. We're sitting at 11.31%, whereas the state's at 14.42%. Our staff, we have 96% of the staff being fully licensed, and 83.59% of core classes are taught by a highly qualified teacher. This corresponds with the ISTE standard of A4C, where we have competent personnel that's using technology integration in class and making sure our students know what they need to succeed in life. Our school also works a lot with students from the transition to teaching program through Fort Hays. We see the value in incoming teachers that have a lot of real life experience and can help students relate what they're learning back to the real world and see how it's going to benefit them. I myself was one of those transition to teaching students, and I really enjoyed it. I felt like I learned a lot. The city of Hays in itself has a population of 21,027 people, and that was in the 2016 census. We are 89% white, 6% Hispanic, 2% African American, and 3% other. We are a very Volga German community, a lot of Catholic, a lot of good food, and a lot of local entertainment. The median household income in Hays is $46,961, which compared to the state of $54,935, we are lower than the state median, well, the state average of the state median. So that means we have a lot more lower income families, and our employment rate is also lower than the state of Kansas, which means we still do have a lot of people that need jobs, but less so than the state of Kansas. Now, if you compare this stuff to the average housing cost in Hays, that's where things start to get a little worrisome, because the average cost of a house in Hays is about $179,000, whereas the rest of the state is sitting around $130,000 or below. So the residents of Hays are making less than residents of the state of Kansas, but they are expected to pay more for their house. So you have a lot of residents that rent. Now, next I want to talk about how we're going to do business. So I want to address the culture and the climate and the organizational processes of our school. At Hays High, our mission statement is empowering all students for tomorrow's challenges, and USD 489's mission statement is to provide a quality learning experience for every child in every classroom every day. And I feel like at this district we do a really good job of sticking to our mission statement and providing that for all the students. For our school processes, we have a lot of things that our school does to get in touch and make sure that we're staying on the right track. We have faculty meetings once a month. We have in-service days about once every other month. We have advisory committees and crisis committees and board meetings and site council meetings and all sorts of meetings where people get together and they look at results of data that we've collected and relate it back to our school and how we can improve in the future. One thing that we've been specifically looking at recently is the KISA surveys, and we have committees that get together and they look at the results and talk about how we can improve to make those results better. And that relates back to the VGI-1B or VG1B standard that says the school vision by respect for students and families and the community members. We really, really want to gain their respect, keep their respect, and I think we do a really good job of that. We also have a lot of committees where we are one-on-one with people from the community to make sure that we are preparing our students in the school for jobs if they were to go out into the community right now. Now, where are we now? That's going to look at our student achievement. Our graduation rate at Hays High is 88.7%, which is a little bit higher than the state average of 86.1%. So I think we're doing a pretty good job there. And then our school looks a lot at ACT scores when looking at how successful we are because we are a high school. As you can see, I've created a graph here of the comparison between Hays High and Kansas from the years 2011 to 2017. We were above the state average for 2011 through 2013. In 2014, we dipped below the state average, but this year, the results from 2017 we're very, very proud of. We have a score of 23.0, which is higher than the state average, much higher, and we were nominated the Kansas ACT Exemplar School, and so we are very, very proud of that fact. So all of this information, I feel like, gives us a really good picture of what kind of school we are and where we need to go in the future.